Hello, welcome back to my channel, Divine Libra Wisdom. I'm back again with another weekly check-in reading for the week of March 16th. This will be for Cancer, obviously. I'm going to start with Cancer. And as you can see, I'm not on camera this time. I really didn't feel like being on camera, so you should be seeing the spread on your screen. So you can just follow along that way. Okay, and like I do each time, I'll go ahead and get my disclaimers and things out of the way, and then we'll get into the reading and go from there. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, I thank you so much for tuning in. If you are returning to the channel, I thank you as well. Hopefully both groups, no matter which one you're in, hopefully you consider subscribing to the channel so that way you know when I drop new videos. Okay. As you listen along, make sure you like the video. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Share the video with a friend if you know that they have these placements, or, you know, whatever. They just like tarot and oracle card readings. And let's see, you know, do all the things, subscribe. All the decks that I'm using, they will be in the description box below. If you have any questions or concerns, you can definitely leave that in the comment section. But if you would like to book a personal reading with me, that information is in the description box, and you need to you'd have to email me. I won't answer any like requests in my comment section to do readings. You have to email me, so that way I know exactly who I'm speaking to, and you know, we can go from there. Yeah. Let's see, as far as noise is concerned, it should be fairly quiet since I'm doing this early in the morning. Other than that, you know, you may hear my AC kick on, or you may hear my cousin's dog maybe make some little grumbles in the background. Other than that, noise should be to a minimum. Yeah, so like I do normally, I do start of the week, midweek, end of the week when reading the cards, and I will go column by column. Okay, so the first card that you have out, Cancer, is Nine of Water. This is your wish comes true, concerns fade away, a love of life. So at the start of the week, you know, you could be you could be, you know, feeling like very content, especially with life, how life is going for you all. You know, there could be, you know, nothing really bothering you coming from the weekend. You may have had a great weekend. You know, I just when I see this card, I just get the feeling of fulfillment, the feeling of just having, you know, having a good time. You know, 9, as a matter of fact, you know, it's represented by it is kind of like completion of something, fulfillment, enlightenment, fruition, like things being so put together. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like not a place, like not a hair out of place, that type of thing. You know, it can represent endings as well. Sort of like 10 is completion, but I think number 9, it could be like the end of a situation, or the end of, you know, maybe hardship, and then coming into fulfillment, coming into feeling, getting into that number 10 completion feeling. Okay, but right now you're at step 9, or you're at 9. So right now you know, it's feeling fulfilled. Whatever transpired before, now is, you know, the time where you're feeling like complete, and or you're at least not complete, but you're feeling fulfilled, more so. Especially with your wishes come true, concerns fade away, like I mentioned. You know, whatever may have happened in the past, could be this past week, past month, you know, past year. You know, you're feeling at ease. You know, things have finally gotten to a point where, you know, there's no more struggle, there's no more strife, you're good. Okay? So let's see here. And then you have the spirits, or the spirits, respecting spirit. And as you can see, there's like a lot of like individuals kind of around the moon, and then you have the one eye up there. To me, and before I get into that, the signs that you could be dealing with are water signs, fire signs, and the Hermit. And I believe the Hermit, if I'm not mistaken, that is Virgo. Yeah. So specifically, you could be dealing with a earth sign, Virgo, specifically fire sign, water sign. Numbers that can be significant are 9, which you have out twice. You have 10 out, and then you have 23, 14, and 35. So those numbers could be very, very significant for you. And like I mentioned before, with 9 being out twice, you know, this is very much an indicator that you found some sort of wish fulfillment. Like you're at the point where, like you come into your own, like you may have, where things may have been kind of unsteady, you know, unstable, they're stable now. And you're getting to that point where, you know, you can kind of relax. You can kind of like breathe a sigh of relief because you've made it, you know, you've made it basically. Like you've made it out of that hardship, whatever it may have been, and you're good now. Okay, so going back to the Spirits card, when I look at this card, it just makes me feel like you have like a lot of protection around you. This could be represented by like ancestors, you know, if you believe in that, angels, if you believe in that, even God, like, you know, if you believe in a higher power or God or whatever, especially with the all-seeing eye up there on the moon. It just makes me think of, you have a lot of protection around you. You know, you have a lot of spirit guides that are assisting you on your journey. So, you know, whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that, you know, especially if you really come, because I get the sense that Cancers have, you know, in this collective have come out of some sort of, you know, issue, some sort of unstable energy, and now things have been, like the wrongs have been righted, you know what I mean, or whatever needed to happen, it happened, and so now you're in a more content place. You're in a more, you know, like state of feeling fulfilled in whatever it is that you're doing, or whatever it is that you had to do in order to get the stability that you were needing. Okay. All right. And then we have the 10 of Fire. This is midweek. So going into the midweek, there could be, and this could possibly be on your job, or even if you're not someone who has like a regular 9 to 5, you know, it could be home life, family life. It could be too much work going on. It says accept help from others. Life is out of balance, stress related health concerns. So, with this new stability, and it's funny because it's like you have all the stability going into the week, but by midweek you feel kind of, you know, you may feel kind of drained. Maybe you're taking on too much, you know, especially with when, you know, you have that stability, when things are, you know, feeling fulfilled, or you feel fulfilled and things are on the right track. Sometimes, you know, it can feel overwhelming. So that's the sense that I get, for some of you, maybe with this newfound stability, and maybe, you know, with everything else, maybe you're taking on a lot, especially at work, because I see too much work. So I'm seeing someone who's trying to do a lot, trying to do everything, instead of, you know, delegating, especially if you're like a leader, a boss, or, you know, a supervisor or whatever. if you're doing too much, then yeah, now's the time to delegate. Now is the time to, ask for help if you need it. Don't be afraid to do that. You have the high priestess down there, leadership, that came out with 10 of fire. So, you have to, leaders, a lot of times, they will try to do everything sometimes on their own. Not every single leader, of course, but sometimes I feel like leaders, bosses especially, sometimes they will do a lot of, trying to do a lot of things, try to have their hands in so many baskets. And the thing about it is, that's why you have, a staff. That's why you have others. That's why you have assistants, when you have, and that's why you delegate certain things. Same with, running a house, because a lot of people think, and not to get all, feministy, if that's even a word, but when it comes to running a house, the majority of time, women are the ones who run the house. You know what I mean? Women are the ones who are the leaders. And so, like, but in that same vein, in that same breath, like, we need to, if you're a woman and, you're working, also running your house, have kids, you deal with them, and then, you have a spouse, you deal with that, making sure everything runs smoothly, but you're also working too. There are times where you can't do everything yourself. Okay. Even though you're more than capable and you get it done, at the same time, that burns you out though. You see what I'm saying? So a good leader always knows when to delegate, when to reach out for others, to ask for help. So what I'm getting at is, don't do everything yourself. You know what I'm saying? Your spouse is there to help. It shouldn't be you are the only one who is raising the kids, dealing with the kids, making sure the house runs smoothly, cooking all the meals, remembering all the appointments, getting people everywhere they need to, like, it's, have some time, delegate, have some time for yourself. Because when you have your hands in more than one basket, when you're trying to do too many things, it creates this sort of almost like, and you go back to that instability, like that unstable feeling, where things are spiraling, and it's kind of like, okay, hold up, kind of like how the high priestess has her hand up, like, hold up, you know what I'm saying? I need some help. And so you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help, especially if you have a spouse right there and they're sitting there watching you do everything. No, ask them for help. Tell them to get their ass up and do something. Okay. It shouldn't be just you doing something. It shouldn't, or just you doing every single thing within the household. It's two people in there. It's two adults that need to be doing things. Not just, it shouldn't be solely on the wife. Okay. That's the image that I'm getting. I'm getting a wife that is completely burnt out because, of course I got, like I said, the work thing, but also I'm getting strongly, there may be some wives out there who are taking on the brunt of everything, trying to, run the house, run the spouse, run the kid. Like, you're not, you're only mother to the children. Okay. All right. So I just really have to get that out there because that is what I'm getting. That's what I'm seeing. So, like I said, don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Okay. So by the end of the week, Cancers, you have the Hermit card. This is spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. So yeah, coming from midweek, there could be, a need for you all to take some time out and give yourself a break. Maybe you need to go on a small retreat. This could be, as small as having a little staycation in your local area, wherever it is you stay. Maybe, close to home, or even a full-blown trip. Whatever it is that floats your boat, whatever it is that you need, take some time to yourself and take a break. You have Bewitched that came out with that. You're under a spell. I feel like this is more so like, there's this need, or, well, not need, but with it coming out with the Hermit card, I feel like you shouldn't, don't be disillusioned, or don't be illusioned by, the fact that you do need rest. Like, because I see someone kind of like mulling over the fact of, okay, am I really tired, or is it all in my head? Am I really doing, am I doing too much? Am I being dramatic? That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm getting. But no, coming from midweek, the energy that I got from those two cards, and the end of the week, no, you're not illusioned, or you're not under any type of illusion or under a spell or anything like that. No. No, you need to take some time out to yourself, go in hermit mode, recollect yourself, take a little small retreat. If you can only do, maybe over the weekend going into next weekend, you know what I mean? If you can only take that weekend, definitely do it, because yeah, there's some, feelings of, because I almost get this sense of, someone wondering if they really do truly need a break. Like, if they really do deserve rest, and you do. Like, you don't have to work hard to get rest. You don't have to earn rest, as they say. And so that's the energy that I'm kind of getting. So yeah, just, make sure you're kind to yourself. Make sure you're kind to your body. You know what I'm saying? When it needs to rest, when it needs nourishment, when it needs whatever it needs, give that to yourself. Because the only person, if you are burnt out, if you're doing too much, you can't serve other people. You can't help other people if you're burnt out, right? You're not going to be a good service to another person if you're not servicing yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, how can you take care of others? You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it, and I always say this when it comes to like things like messages of coming out about rest and taking rest and all that, your body, I hear ambulance right now outside. So for one, if you're doing too much, because with 10 of fire, you had stress related health concerns. If you do too much, you can be stressed out so much that it makes you pass out. It can bring on a stroke. Like, it can bring on a lot of things. Okay. So take care of yourself. But I also, like I was about to say also, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. When you're tired, and I'm talking sleepy, but exhausted to the point of exhaustion, your body will just give out. It will give out for you. Okay. Like, it will shut down for you. Like, it's like, okay, you keep going and you keep going and you keep going, but you're not stopping. So I'm gonna have to stop for you. That's the case here. Like, if you keep going and going and going and going, and you don't never give yourself any rest, your body's gonna say, okay, I'm gonna shut down for you, because obviously you don't get it. So the message here is you're good and stable. So there's no need to worry, about that. But when you start trying to do too much, you get unstable again. And so with that, you kind of go into this mode of, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to do this. I need to do that. But you're second guessing it, and you're going to go too far, and your body is going to completely shut down, and you're going to be like, what happened? Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and get your affirmation for the week. And is I am good enough. I am worthy enough. Again, that is I am good enough. I am worthy enough. So yes, you are all those things, Cancers. But make sure that you get your rest. Make sure that, you take time to be appreciative of how far you come, but also, notice when you're doing too much. Notice when you're going too far. Give yourself a break because you deserve a break. Especially if you have indeed been working hard, especially with the 10 of fire coming out. Yeah, I believe you have. So, you've earned, and like I said, you don't earn rest, but you definitely deserve some time to rest and recollect yourself and, pour more into yourself when you've been pouring into others. Okay? All right. So, had to be, big sister auntie moment. Had to get into that energy there and put on my stern finger wagging self. You know what I'm saying? But no, I really get the sense of someone trying to do a lot of things, especially, on their own. And there's other, especially if it's a marriage or something. I really saw a wife trying to do every single thing herself, and they have a spouse there just sitting on their behind, allowing her to do it, and it's just kind of like, no, absolutely not. So yeah, if that is you, if it resonates, then I'm talking directly to you. Okay, don't be trying to do everything yourself. It don't make no sense. Okay, all right, so let me stop. You all have a good week. I will see you next week. Bye.